Assalamualaikum sir.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Assalamualaikum sir.
Walaikum salam.
क्या हाल है सर जी?
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start with the session. And first of all, let me introduce myself. This is me, Mohammed Junaid Khalid, and I'm the course facilitator for F7 Financial Reporting paper. Okay, so the objective, first of all, let me share the objective and the agenda of the session, that what we are going to discuss and what we are going to do in this particular session. This particular session is basically for the guidance purposes, that I'm going to guide you, because obviously it's just the last week, or I would say the few days before the exams that we are here right now. And obviously the nerve systems are very high. You might be feeling a lot of pressure, that what will happen and how to cope up. There are so many things that needs to be covered. So obviously there are so many confusions, doubts, and that obviously needs to be encountered. So for that purpose, I've just organized this session. In this session, we are not going to learn, we are not going to study anything, but I'm going to give you some guidelines, that how you can ace your exam and what should be the strategy in these last days, that just before your exams, what are the things that you need to do and what are the things that you do not need to perform. So these are some guidelines that I'm going to give you in this particular session. So first of all, I would like to first of all give you I would just like to wish you all a very best of luck for your upcoming exams, financial, especially for the financial reporting paper. And you must all the participants that are present over here right now, you must have done you must have give your best efforts right now. I must say this thing and I must appreciate it. You must have given the best efforts right now till now. Now what's next, and what are the things that we need to do just before the exams, and what are things that we should not do, we should not opt just before the exams. So first of all, what things that you should not do. Number one, the first thing that I would recommend you, please do not start do not start any new standard. Do not start any new standard. Please do not start any, even though if it is very important, even though if it is very important, from whom you have taken the lecture, no matter from whom you have taken the lecture. And if that tutor has told you that during your preparation or during your classes, the tutor told you that this is one of the most important standard, and please do it, and please do it, don't skip it. Examiner might be testing with you with a very good marking scheme. Still then, please do not start a new standard, because it will just waste your time in this last moment, in that last period of time just before the exams. Obviously any new standard that you will start, you will not be able to complete it. And if you will complete it by force, you will not be able to retain it. And if you will retain it, you will not be able to attempt the question related to that particular topic standard. So it's better to skip it. The time that you will spend on this new standard, I would recommend that you spend that particular time on those activities that I'll be guiding you, that you have to perform, you have to do before your exams. So first thing, that do not start any new standard. Whatever the standards you have done it, just just consider it that you have done the 100% course. Although it's not, but assume it that you have done all the things that were required to be done. So it means you are 100% right now. So please do not start any new standard. Second thing is, do not panic. Please do not panic while practicing it. There are lots of questions, there are lots of messages that I'm receiving right now, that we are attempting the final account question, we are attempting the consolidation question, we are attempting the ratios question, but we are unable to complete it within 50 minutes or 1 hour. We are unable to complete, we are not able to correct that question. We are attempting it, but it's not correct. There are always some errors, there are always some misadjustment, there are always some I would say that there are always some adjustments that we are making it wrong. So there are many students who are asking this question, and believe me, the students are asking that whether we'll be able to clear this paper. They are asking like a question mark. Please have faith on yourself, believe on yourself, and believe on Almighty Allah. Inshallah, you're going to ace this exams. Please do not panic. This is not the right time to get yourself in a panic attack. Please make sure that you are positive. You are positive enough. Remember, if there is a difficult situation, but you are positive, you can ace that situation. But if there is a very easy and a very pure and a very cool situation, but if you are panic, obviously you will not be able to clear it. So make sure that you are relaxed, you are comfortable, and please do not panic. Let me give you one insight, that if you are attempting a final account question, and for example, in that final account question, there are, let's say, six adjustments. And obviously, all of you, the students who are preparing, you must have prepared, you must have practiced for the final account question. So if you are having six adjustment in that final account question, and out of six, I can believe on you, I believe you guys, that you must be able to attempt at least four adjustments. Yes, the four adjustments, you are able to attempt the four adjustment. It means that you are able to interpret the four adjustments, you are able to solve these four adjustments, and you are able to incorporate the results of these four adjustments to the P&L and balance sheet, that is a statement of financial position. I'm damn sure that at least you can attempt these four adjustments. Not four, okay, let's say three or four. So if you are able to attempt these three or four adjustments, believe me that these three or four adjustments would collectively have a marking of 8 to 10 marks. Yes. So out of six, if you are able to attempt these three or four adjustments, so obviously you are gaining 8 to 10 marks for it. You are gaining 8 to 10 marks for it. So it means that if you can attempt, or if you can secure these 8 to 10 marks out of, let's say, 20 marks, so it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Do not panic, please. While practicing, if you're not able to attempt two or three adjustment, doesn't matter. Try to learn that adjustment. Try to understand that adjustment, that if similar kind of adjustment is being tested in your exam, so at least you should attempt that particular adjustment, and you should attempt that adjustment correctly in your exams. So make sure that you are not panicked during your exams, during your preparation even. Obviously there will be some adjustment, because the questions you are practicing is basically the past paper question. These are the official resource of the examiner, these are the official resource of the ACCA. So obviously the level would be above the moderate level. But remember, in your paper, in your exam, the difficulty level would always be the moderate level. It's not always the high, it's not always the lower side, but it is always at the medium side, as the moderate side. So first of all, that do not panic. Even if it's a consolidation question, there are 6 to 7 adjustments. You are able to perform five or four. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Same goes with the ratios. That if you're not if for ratios, let me give you. There are many students who are panicked. They are tensed regarding the ratios, that we are not able to write down. We are facing a lot of difficulty in writing down the comments. So a good news for them. Remember that in the ratio question, obviously there will be a 6 marks total of the 20 marks, and there would be a 6 marks for the calculation, and remaining marks will be for the interpretation. Now, in that ratio question, the 20 marks question, 6 marks is for the calculation. 6 marks. And this calculation part is quite easier. It's not easy, it's easier, by the way. It means you can calculate the ratios very easily. The data is given to you, and it's in a very summarized, in a very clear format. You just need to put the formulas, and then you need to calculate. It means that is something very, I would say, the marks gaining area. Remaining 14 marks is from the interpretation. Now interpretation is quite easier. That what you have to do, you just need to what you just need to you just need to write it down. To be very honest, I, I read the different examiner comments and different examiner solutions. There it states that you just need to write it down. You're not supposed to do anything. You're not supposed to go hi-fi, because examiner at this point of time is not expecting a lot from you. Is not expecting anything exceptionally for you. This is one of the basic, or the, I would say that, skills. In a skills paper, obviously this is the first time you will be making the interpretation. So obviously examiner just wants you to write it down. Now what you can do, that you can opt few strategies, and I can let you know that how many marks you will be gaining it. For example, if there's a 14 marks question, so obviously there will be six ratios. that examiner would be asking you to comment, that you need to comment on these six ratios. So in aggregate, if we say that uh, there will be a 2.5 marks for each ratio. It means the comments, for comments it's 2.5 marks each ratio. Now, what you have to write it down. If you are expert in that particular question, so go ahead with your strategy. But if you're not, if you're facing a difficulties and you know that you will not be able to write it down, so what you have to do, you need to follow that strategy. Number one, you just try to define the ratios. Remember that every ratio is interpreting something. For example, the current ratio. Any one of you can please let me know that what the current ratio interprets. Yes, any one of you could please let me know that what the current ratio represent, by the way. Liquidity position of any, how much assets to have, pay its liabilities. Very good, excellent. Anyone else, please do participate. Having how much current assets, pay out current liabilities. Very good, Malik. Excellent. So first thing, paying liabilities capacity. Very good, Afzal. So it means that what you have to do, you need just need to define. Remember, there's a strategy that you need to adopt when you are not able to answer the question. If you think that you can answer the question, it's perfectly fine. So first of all, you need to define. For example, if there is a current ratio, so you need to explain in a very good wording, in a very good sentences or the phrases that. And remember one thing: while attempting the ratio question or the interpretation side, always refer with the company name. Always refer the situation with the company name. Of always refer company name. Always refer the company name. For example, if there's a Green Company Limited question, so you need to write the name Green Company. For example, the current ratio interprets that the Green Company is having how many assets to pay off its short-term obligation. So it means you must use the word, you must use basically the name of the company. You should refer this comment with the scenario. So refer the company name and define it. As I told you that the current ratio of the Green Company Limited represents that how many assets, how many current assets does the Green Company has to pay off its short-term obligation. This will give a very good impression on the examiner. So first of all, you need to define. Secondly, the second important task that you need to perform while commenting on the ratio, that you need to write it down, is favorable and unfavorable. That whether the ratios are favorable or unfavorable. That whether the ratios are favorable or unfavorable. Always remember that there are ratios that shows the positive side and that shows the negative side. If the ratios are increasing, for example, if the current ratio, the gross profit margin ratio is increasing, so it shows that the company is in a favorable position. And if it is obviously decreasing, so it shows that uh, it is unfavorable situation for the organization. So you need to show that whether the ratios are favorable or unfavorable, and obviously you need to link the situation with the scenario. That, for example, Green Company, gross profit margin ratio of the Green Company is increasing, from, and always remember that whenever you are presenting, whenever you are writing, so always use the numerical terms. Use the numerical terms. For example, last year the ratio was, let's say, 10%, and this time the ratio is 12%. So you need to write it down that the ratio of the, for example, the gross profit margin ratio of the Green Company was 10% in the last year and is now increased by 2%, which is 12%. So this is something, the wordings that you are using, that might give a very good impression on the examiner. So numerical terms, use the numerical terms, use the percentages while commenting on the ratios. You can also write it down that the gross profit margin of the Green Company has increased by 2% as compared to the last year. So these kind of numerical terms that you need. Now what you're doing, you are trying to cope up with the limitations that you have. You're not able to write it down anything, even a single line you are not able to write it down. But by this strategy, obviously you will write it down at least 2 lines. Now this is something which is very ordinary, and this is something you have to apply on all the ratios. You can apply all the ratios. But now the fourth point, which is very important, that you need to link with the scenario. Link with the scenario. Yes, link with the scenario. You need to link with the scenario. For example, if the gross profit margin is increasing, obviously you told it that the gross profit margin is increasing or decreasing, and this is something which is known to the examiner as well. But obviously the main part or the main marks that examiner will be rewarding you is for the link with the scenario. That link means that you need to answer, you need to explain that why it is increasing, what is the reason behind it that it is increasing, or if it is decreasing, you need to give the reason. And obviously in your exams, the situation the examiner will be giving you the pure hints. You can easily identify that why it is increasing or decreasing. For example, the examiner might told you that during the year the company has started the new sales, or company has launched a new product for which the company has organized a marketing tactics, because of which the extraordinary sales were made. Now obviously this is the hint or indicator that shows that the gross profit margin is increasing. So you need to link the scenario. So these are the four tasks that you need to perform. Define the ratio, favorable or unfavorable for the organization for the current year. Use some numerical terms and then link the scenario. Link with the scenario and then comment. So this is something that you need to consider, and you need to adopt the strategy to answer the ratio or the interpretation question. Are you guys clear with this situation so far? If there is any question, okay. For consolidation, yes, will exactly. You need to write down the conclusion. Please remember that conclusion always carry 1 or 2 marks. Malik, obviously the numerical percentages and numerical values that you're writing it down is basically the judgmental part. It is basically the judgmental part. This will give a good impression because that ratio area is basically a pure judgmental. Examiner will be rewarding you according to its own judgment. So it means that whenever there will be a good impression of the examiner, you are using the numerical terms or numerical values and the percentages, the increase or decrease. Obviously, this will give a good impression that the students or candidates are having a better understanding of that topic. Okay, for example, if there is a shortage of time, so can we write, we do not link the situation. Let me give you I would say that uh, the example of my student. He appeared in the last exam, the last attempt. And what happened, let me tell you that there was a question of ratio, and it was a 20 marks question, out of which 6 marks was for the adjustment. Okay, in that attempt, in the last attempt, there were the adjustments, and you need to make the adjustments, and then you have to, there were a few adjustments, 1 or 2 adjustment. Basically there were some errors and you have to make that adjustment, and then you need to calculate. There were 4 ratios, so it means adjustments plus then you need to calculate. Okay, adjustment plus you need to calculate, and obviously the 14 marks, remaining 14 marks were related to interpretation. Now what happened, that the student was not able to solve those adjustments. It was a difficult one, or he was not able to cope up with that one. So what he did, he didn't perform the adjustment appropriately, and he was not sure, he was damn sure that whatever he has done is absolutely wrong. So he just made the incorrect adjustment, and then he moved on towards the ratio side. Okay, now he was having in his mind that since the amount is incorrect, the ratios are incorrect, the calculation is incorrect. So obviously, the marking of the interpretation side would also be incorrect, because all the areas would be reversed back. all the areas or the results are changed, by the way. Now what happened, that he's performed that 14 marks question, and he just write it down these three areas, that he defined the ratio, he just told they're favorable because there was a shortage of time, he was not able to perform. And numerical terms, he just identified that the ratio is increasing and it's increasing by this percentage. So he did this one. And what happened, that that student secured 6 marks out of 20. Now you might be saying that this out of 20, 6 marks is nothing, but you just see that he didn't perform anything. If I would have been the examiner, I must have not given any single marks. Why? Because in that situation, the balance sheet is prepared, and obviously the balance sheet is prepared, and obviously it's not that an easy one, easy task. And then there were the adjustment, and these adjustments were not prepared. These adjustments were not prepared. So what he did, just write down the general comments, and with the help of this general comment, he was able to secure 6 marks. And don't think that it's 6 out of 20, it is basically 6 out of 14. Are you guys getting it? Is there any confusion, any problem? Okay, for consolidation, Afzal, I do have a summary, and let me share with you that summary. And please do remind me so that I can share with that summary with you. So in that summary, there are all the accounting entries for the income statement and the balance sheet and associate as well. There are all the workings. There are all the that is basically the summary. That is basically the summary, and all the entries from which the accounting entries or the consolidation adjustments are posted, whether in income statement or balance sheet. So I've compiled, I have that particular file, so I can share it with you so that you can revise it and you can try to retain. Because in this last moment, I cannot tell you to take the lectures, because this is not the right time. Obviously it's a lengthy area, so you need to take, you need to put time a lot. So I will be sharing that file with you, to remind me all, so that I can share with you. And these that is basically the summary of consolidation, in which all the adjustments are listed. Now, last days before the exams, what should be done, and what need to focus? First of all, please make sure that you are done with your study hub. If you are done, it's perfectly fine. If you are not done, so please make sure that there are practice questions and quiz. So you need to complete all the practice questions and quizzes. Secondly, you need to must have BPP and Kaplan, and you must have completed the BPP and Kaplan kit questions. BPP and Kaplan kit questions. Thirdly, you need to solve the examiner report question. The examiner's report question. This is basically the examiner report, that half yearly, every half yearly, examiner points out the difficult MCQs and the difficult OTKs. And that difficult means that majority of the student were failed to perform or to answer that question. So what I did, that I have compiled all the I would say that for the last 4 or 5 years, I have compiled the examiner report. So if you want that one, you can definitely reach me out, so I can provide you with that examiner report questions as well as with the solutions. So you must have done this thing, because this is one of the most important area that you need to consider. And fourth one, fourth one that you need to do, that you need to use your practice platform. In this practice platform, you will be attempting the pre-March mock exam or pre-June, whatever. Pre-mock. And secondly, that you need to practice the platform, in which there will be a specimen. So you need to perform the specimen. And there are two practice exam. So practice exam 1, practice exam 2. So these are basically the four official content, and make sure that you do not sit for the exam before attempting these four official contents. Yes, are you getting it, guys? If your concepts are good, go for the practice side. Go for the practice side. Practice more and more of Zal. So once you will practice more and more, so obviously you will enhance, and your performance will definitely enhance. So these are the official resource that you need to utilize. Okay, now there are many students who ask for the theory areas, that from where the theory should be covered. So for that purpose, I would recommend go for study up theory. It's precise and it's relevant. So it means that study up, and this study up resource obviously is available on your My ACC account. Is there any confusion? Yes. Is there any question that anyone would like to ask? Yes. Any other question that anyone would like to ask? Regarding the paper, regarding the course. If you are done with all three, I would recommend that please solve on a random basis. StudyUp is one of the most official resource of an ACCA. So obviously you cannot skip it, but do question on a sample basis. Not necessarily that you all perform, but do mention with do practice the study of questions on a sample basis. Okay. Now the tips for the final account. Final account, basically, I just told at the start of the session that if you are having a final account questions, obviously there will be multiple adjustments. So you just need to try to attempt those adjustments from which you are familiar. And obviously, if you will be practicing before the exam, so there are many questions that you must have encountered. So there is a possibility that same name or the same company could be used. But remember that what we have to do, that is we need to in overdraft. In the overdraft, obviously that is for the I would say that final account, that what you have to do, you just need to perform the adjustment, and if there is one or two adjustment that you are not able to perform, let it be, don't worry. Yes, are you clear? Now if it's just about the time management, so remember, I would recommend that for section A and section B. Section A and B both should be completed within 1 hour. You can obviously uh, have a bandwidth for 1 hour 15 minutes 20 minutes, but it should not be more than 1 hour and 20 minutes. So the section A and B should be completed within 1 hour, which means The section A and B could be completed in 1 hour. And what about section C? The rest of the time of the rest of the time is spent on the section C. For A and B, it's 1 hour, and for section C, it's 2 hours. And section A and B can easily be completed in 55 to 60 minutes. It's not a big deal. Obviously, section C would take a lot of time, so obviously section C is very important. Yes, are we clear on this one? Anyone would like to ask anything? Yes, any confusion? Okay, great. So that was all for the today's session. I just would like to wish you all a very best of luck for your paper, for your exams, and please try to practice all of these. And if you think that it's a limited time period and still you want to do something, so please do let me know. We can obviously curtail it, but try to make sure that you should use all those resources that are available to you. Yes, are you clear with this one? Both methods are acceptable, Irfan. You can comment on the spreadsheet uh, or line by line or by paraphrasing. So line by line is more recommended. Are you clear on this one? Okay. If there's any problem or confusion, you can definitely drop me a message, and obviously we'll try to resolve your query as soon as possible. And if there's any confusion, to let me know via the WhatsApp, and we can obviously have some discussion on any problem or the confusion that you have. Okay, thank you so much for joining this session. I wish and pray that may Allah Almighty bless you all with the tremendous success. Okay, let me share the WhatsApp number with you guys. So that is the number. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. Allah Hafiz.